Good morning, everybody. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. It's been said that life is suffering. We go through a lot of things in life, and some things can't be changed. Some things you don't have control over, some things are permanent. A loss of health, a loss of a loved one, people walking in and out of your life. Things change that cause us pain and grief, and all we can do is cope through them and wait on time to heal what can be healed, to manage. When we face the sufferings in life, other things seem daunting. Self-imposed sufferings, like codependent relationships, toxic relationships, a pattern of addiction, a pattern of eating disorders, a pattern of negative coping mechanisms, a pattern of poor self-care, self-neglect, poor boundaries, bad time management, lack of motivation, bitterness, resentments, and much, much more. Some suffering we don't have to continue to go through, because it is within our control. Even if it feels like a giant mountain and insurmountable to climb, it is changeable. It is not permanent like the loss of a loved one. You don't have to stay in toxic, detrimental, painful situations and lifestyles and temperaments and attitudes, behaviors, and perspectives. You may not know how to change it. You may not know how to get out. But the first step is admitting it. Taking a cold, hard look at yourself, at your lifestyle, at your situation. Is it serving you? Is what you're doing, what you're involved with, how you're behaving, the people that surround you, all the things that constitute your life, are they helping you or are they harming you? If they're harming you, it may be a long and complicated road. Be prepared to work. Be prepared for hard work. Be prepared for the fear of change. Be willing to look at yourself and look at things objectively. Because Not everything that you face can be changed, but nothing can be changed until you face it. If you're struggling in some area of your life, if you're stuck, if you're unfulfilled, if you're lonely and isolated, if you're trapped in your job, if you're feeling unfulfilled in your relationships, if you need to have deep discussions that you've been avoiding, this is just on a personal level. There's also the world. If there are causes that trouble you, needs that trouble you in the greater community, in the greater world, being troubled by them, well, to a point that's good because it shows you have genuine empathy for others, but it doesn't help others. Find a way to contribute. Find a way to face that issue and do what you can. Sweat equity, your time, finances, donations. Participate. Do something. We're still pretty early in the year. We may or may not have made our resolutions or decided on some things and some places that we don't want to find ourselves 1 year from now. We may or may not be flailing on those already. And some things in your life you're just going to have to accept. But be able to differentiate the things that you have to accept and the things that you've chosen to accept. And you may have not haven't chosen them intentionally, and you may legitimately want to change them and just not know how to get out of the circumstances that you found yourself in, or the behaviors, or the mindset, or whatever negative is in your life. Just like in the larger scheme of things, worrying about it, thinking about it, pondering about it, stewing in it, wallowing in it, avoiding it, not acknowledging it, not looking at it for what it is, will not help you. Avoidance doesn't serve anything. All it does is allow the situation to continue, and minutes turn to days, turn to weeks, turn to years, and before you know it, next year you will be right here, maybe in more pain, maybe in more suffering, maybe in a worse situation, by avoiding what needs to be addressed. Sometimes in life, we have to take a cold, hard look at ourselves. Objectively, not judgmentally. Don't shame yourself for anything. You are where you are for so many reasons. You do what you do for so many reasons. But at some point, you have to make a decision. You have to look that thing in the eye and make a decision that this is just not how I want to live anymore, who I want to be anymore, the situation I want to be in anymore, and begin to make a change, begin to act, begin to seek a way out to the best of your ability. If that involves, if you have an eating disorder or substance abuse or some other mental health type of an issue or addictive type of an issue, going into rehabs, going into programs, going into AA and Al-Anon and Codependence Anonymous, and getting professional help if necessary to begin to make a shift that seems too big for you to make. At 1,000 miles is walked one step at a time. You have to start. You have to start. You have to take a look at it, and you have to begin. And just because you begin any venture, there's no guarantee you're going to win. At least the first time, maybe the second or third. Don't take failure as a failure. Take failure as a natural step in the process. As long as you get back up after failure, you have just learned something new about what's not going to work for you to surmount this obstacle. And you take it one day at a time. You don't climb a mountain overnight. You don't make a change overnight. But if you don't start, you never make the change. You have to look at it, address it, and decide, this is not who I am, what I'm about, and where I want to be anymore. And begin the process. You climb a ladder one rung at a time. The slow process of addressing what's wrong, getting yourself out of debt, setting up a financial safety net, stepping outside your front door and going to someplace new in an attempt to make a friend, working on your social skills so you can obtain and maintain those friends that you meet, working on your character so you can be a good friend, if you should acquire those friends, if you're feeling lonely and isolated, whatever that thing is. That you want to tackle. Or that you need to tackle, but you have been avoiding it. You picked a different resolution because the other one just seems so impossible. That's the thing you need to address. You need to try. And every failure is just a learning experience for the next time you try. As long as you don't quit trying, you will eventually walk that 2,000 miles one baby step at a time. In society and in your personal life and in the being that you are and in your lifestyle and in your relationships, nothing changes if nothing changes. And not everything you face can be changed. But nothing can be changed until you face it. You have to do it. You have to look at it for what it is without shaming yourself. Make a decision. Obtain any resources necessary to help you on your journey. And begin to take action. One step, one day, one moment at a time, to face it. That it that you've been avoiding the most, that bothers you the most, drags you down the most. The biggest elephant in the room. Start there. And begin to face it. Or it will never change, and you can change all the little things that you want. But if you don't address the big problem, the little periphery details, won't make a significant difference. You need to face the significant issues head on, first and foremost. The rest of things will fall into place much easier when your life is dramatically better because you began to tackle the big problem. You began to face it. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't. You can't change it. Sometimes you just think you can't because you don't know how, or because it seems too big. So you choose not to. And you suffer. And you continue to suffer, and you will continue to suffer until you face it down and attempt to make a change. Love you guys. Good morning. Goodbye. Let's see, get rid of this tea. I just can. You can. There's a way out. There's a way to stabilize, at minimum, stabilize a difficult situation, if not solve it, even if you don't know right now how. The first step is seeing it and trying to begin to walk in a different direction.